Super Smash Bros., a franchise that everyone is familiar about. And of course, when there's a big franchise like that, every company wants to get into that action. And of course, you see that most of the companies have done it. Some were successful and some were not. But that leads to one question. Was Nintendo actually the very first one to do this? Well, no, they weren't. I know most of you were surprised about that. But anyway, I'm basically going to explain what's been going on and why I actually say that. My name is Disney the Conquer, and you better buckle up because it's going to be a long ride. Recently, a new game from Sony has been announced called PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Some people are actually interested in it, while most of the people, mainly Nintendo fans, are calling it a Super Smash Bros. Ripoff. And you know my style. If you haven't played the game, you shouldn't really judge it unless you in like a capitalist movement trying to base on what the game has to offer. But I noticed, especially in Shoryuken, there are actually people who are just bashing the game, saying how it sucked, how how the controls badly, how the characters suck, even though they haven't even played it. As for me, I actually am interested in it because the fact that Sony fans have been begging Sony to do this for a long time, and Microsoft fans are doing the same thing with the whole Xbox 360 genre thing. Excuse me. Now, but when I said that Nintendo wasn't the very first one to do it, it wasn't. It was actually Treasure with their game Yu Hakusho Mako Toisen. Yu Hakusho Mako Toisen, or the English translated Sunset Fighters, a game developed by Treasure and published by Sega. It's a game on the Sega Mega Drive, or the Sega Genesis as we Americans said. This was actually the very first game to actually try the fighting style of 4 people simultaneously before Super Smash Bros. Was even thought up. If you're wondering, was this game ever brought to the States? Sadly, no, it wasn't. It was only produced in Japan and in Brazil by Tectoy. But don't get me wrong, this game is actually pretty good. I actually played it due to emulator and Kega Fusion. I suggest you download it and actually give it a try. Everyone, I want you to keep in mind that I'm playing the translated hacked version, which allows you to read the Japanese text besides the title.
Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be, the only one for me is you.
1999, the day that the original Super Smash Bros. Game by Nintendo came out. This game revolutionized the party franchise due to its craziness, simultaneous play, and of course, your favorite Nintendo characters duking it out. I will admit, I did have some real fun in this game, way before I even knew the existence of Yu Hakusho Mako Toisen. And to be honest, I actually thought this game was the first one to start the whole party fighting genre. After the success of Super Smash Bros., New Kid Co. and Viz Entertainment decided to throw their hat into the ring in the new party fighting genre with Tom and Jerry Fist of Fury for the PC, PlayStation 1, and the Nintendo 64. Of course, this game came out around the time when no one didn't really care if it looked like the ripoff or not. I mean, this is the same generation that accepted Battletoads, that some people thought it was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ripoff. But I actually did play this game. It's pretty decent. There is some things that could have been better, but I will admit I do like the wacky antics that they have. Really good source material from the show. They really put it out really well, and the game was pretty decent. It just sometimes the controls can be a little bit jerky and moving. It's jerky and slippery at some moments, but yeah, it's still a pretty good game. 2001, The year the Nintendo GameCube has gotten itself into the market, and with that comes a pretentious little package that didn't came out until later on, which would be Super Smash Bros. Melee. Probably the best game out of the whole Super Smash Bros. Series. This game has excellent controls, perfect movements, great characters, including ones that haven't even made it to the States until the game came out. That's right, both Marth and Roy never came into the States until this game has actually pointed out. And this has somewhat basically started the whole tier craze, because everyone played as Marth, Bots, Falco. No one didn't even think about touching Mewtwo and Bowser. Back in the day when this game was really kick-ass, even though it still is kick-ass, no one had even thought of playing as those characters until today. Videos have been pointing out that people had actually proven that tiers don't even freaking exist. But besides all that, Super Smash Bros. Melee is a really excellent game, and it really shows that the Super Smash Bros. Franchise was not meant to be dealt with. Late 2002, early 2003, New Kid Code and Viz Entertainment decides to try to compete with Super Smash Bros. Melee with their game Tom and Jerry War of the Whiskers. This, I had to say, this is the exact same game like Fist of Fury, only with different characters, different weapons, and a new background. It uses the same engine, which is pretty okay. I noticed that some of the problems that they did fix in War of the Whiskers that they did have in Fist of Fury, but it's still a little so-so. But overall, you know, it's pretty decent. I would actually recommend it, but I would actually try to keep it. It's more like, you know, save it on your shelf. I also forgot to mention, thanks to the huge success of Super Smash Bros. Melee, a lot of companies try to get their hat into the ring, especially the ones in Japan. Now, this certain one I'm going to talk about never came to the States, and I actually played it. It's pretty decent, but like I said, it might get boring too quick, especially since you unlock everyone else. But it's still pretty damn good. It's called Dream Mix TV.
In December 2003, you'll be the witness of the miracle.
Konami, Takara, Hudson.
Dream Mix TV World Fighters is a melee type game which consists of characters from Konami, Takara, and Hudson Soft. Even though this game can get boring at times, it's pretty decent. I mean, I wouldn't really recommend it for like one of those big parties due to everyone would get boring real quickly, unless you have like a big party with like 8 to more people. That way it can get fun.